Hello everyone, I'm Munib Ahmed and this is my part 3 of my cost accounting presentation. In this video, we'll be talking about standard costing. So let's begin. First of all, what is standard costing? Standard costing is a cost accounting technique where predetermined costs, also known as standard, are established for material, labor, and the overheads. These standards cost act as benchmarks against which actual costs are compared and compared to measured performances. The variance between the actual costs and the measured performance is analyzed to understand the efficiency and the effectiveness of the operation. Standard cost is widely used to control costs, plan budgets, improve decision making, and in the businesses. Now talking about the components of standard costing, first of all comes direct material standards. Uh, the predetermined quantity and the cost of material required to produce a product is predefined. And for example, 5 kg of material at $10 per kg is $50 per unit. Then comes the direct labor standard, the estimated time and the cost of labor required to complete 1 unit of product is already predefined. Then comes overheads, the rates of variable and the fixed overheads are allocated to the products are predefined in standard costing. Well, then comes auxiliary standards. These includes any utility usage or any other material consumption standards that are included. Why do we use standard costing? Well, for first of all, it improves efficiency and simplicity. Standard costing reduces the complexity of cost tracking by using consistent standards. Then comes cost control. Standard costing provides a framework for monitoring and controlling the cost set by setting benchmarks. And then comes strategic planning. Standard costs are used for budgeting future costs, to estimate future costs, plan financial resources effectively. Uh, Performance evaluation. While the variance between standards and actual costs helps identify areas of inefficiency or any exceptional performance. Improved decision making. Standard costing informs about the pricing, production adjustments, and more allocation and allocation of resources correctly. Now we'll talk about how the standards of these costs are set. First of all, there is historic data into consideration, past productions, and the data that is collected over time by the industry is used to set the standards of the costs. Well, then comes industry benchmarks. Well, we compare against the average costs and the practices in the industry to set the costs. Then comes engineering studies. Well, the time and the modern studies can uh, are used to calculate the optimal range of materials and labor that would be required. Managerial judgments. Experts or managers can judge how much of resources would be used and what are the advisable standards. Continuous reviews. Standards are periodically updated and reflect changes in the process and are useful in setting standards costs. Well, now we'll talk about variance analysis. What is it? What is variance analysis? Variance analysis is the process of identifying and investigating the difference between the standards and the actual costs. Well, it is an essential part of standard costing. It helps that diagnosing the root causes of inefficiencies. Well, common variances include material variances, labor variances, and overhead variances. Well, in material variances, then there are two subtypes, which include material price variances, which is the due to the difference in the changes of cost of material, and material usage variance can be due to the difference between material usage deviating from the standard usage. Well, labor variances is the difference between the standard labor and standard and the actual labor rates. And labor efficiency variance may be caused by the difference between actual standards of the labor hours and the standard labor hours. Overhead variances. There are two subtypes which are overhead variances, which is the difference between the actual and the standard cost of variable overheads. And then comes the fixed overhead variances, which is the difference in fixed overheads under or over applied versus under or over applied overheads. Well, now talking about the benefits of standard costing is that there is cost awareness, promotes transparency and cost management across all the departments of the organization. Then there is focus on efficiency. The regular variance motivates the teams to improve their performances. Simplified financial reporting. There is no complexities and streamlines of costing process integrates into the budgeting systems. Then comes resource allocation. The management helps prioritize resources based on the cost trends, and also helps minimize the usage of resources. Well, then competitive edge. The better cost control enhances profitability and also enhances the market competitiveness. Now talking about the limitations of standard costing, is that it's strict in nature. While standards may become outdated quickly in these the modern day, the markets are dynamic, and then over emphasis on the cost control. Well, when there is overemphasis and there is main focus is cost control, that may discourage innovation, and focus will only be on cost control, and uh, which may also affect the quality. Well, then complexity in variance analysis. Large organization may have a lot of variance and may face a lot of challenges between identifying and addressing the variances between standards and the actual costs. Well, behavioral impact. Unrealistic standards demotivate the employees, leading to inefficiency. Not ideal for services industries because uh, 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 standard costing is always has a actual cost and a standard cost, which is not suitable in the services and industries. It works better for the manufacturing industry. Well, now talking about the real world applications in manufacturing industry. Well, it helps monitor the raw materials production efficiency of the industry, and in retail the inventory costs management, aligning the prices with the cost forecasts. Well, in healthcare, it optimizes the labor costs and the material cost in hospital operations. Hospitality, well, manages the labor, food costs in the hotels and the restaurants. Well, now talking about the standard costing in modern day business. Well, first of all, standard costing provides integration with technology. The modern ERP systems apply real-time tracking of variances, making standard costing more accurate and controllable. Well, then comes global operation, helps multinational companies become more consistent costing uh, cost. benchmarks across the regions, sustainability goals, incorporates with environmental costs into standards for eco-friendly practices, dynamic marketing adoption. While businesses are moving forward with frequently updated standards to respond to market changes,